I have to tell the people the truth. The truth is going to be uncomfortable at times. But it takes character to go through that process.
But
You do that over some money. That's stealing. Ain't no blessing over there. Even filming the comedy special, that brought family drama. My promise to myself is that my sleep is more important than anyone else's.
yeah.
The kind of comedian that I wanted to be, that's what I had to put myself around and make that normal for me. Nerves, scared. Will they understand me? Doubt. Then it became, let me jump on. Oh, okay, those two things worked. Now I don't care. Now I'm fearless. Now I go on after anybody, anyone.
I love that.
The pandemic was a great experience of people having no distractions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like what they see. And realizing that, damn, I am the messy one. I think my son comes after me.
Wow.
Because if I'm not around, then what can I give him? A child came from that. Wasn't part of my plan to be in a world where I don't live with my son. Never part of the plan. I felt like that was probably the first time I failed. The only time I failed, that we're all a part of someone else's movie. And all of us are villains in someone else's story. And when my book comes out, it's going to cause a problem.
And how do you feel about that? Hi everyone, I'm Shar. I'm a psychotherapist. Thank you for joining me in today's episode. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who you know needs to hear these conversations. If you're looking for a therapist or you want to join my community, I will leave everything in the description bar. Thank you for joining me and my community in making wellness a daily practice. Let's get straight into the episode.
I'm hungry.
You hungry? Do you want something to eat?
No.
Okay.
I don't like doing all this stuff. I'll eat later.
Okay, so what time of the day do you prefer to eat? Are you a morning person? Are you a brunch person?
I think I'm kind of a brunch person. Probably first thing I eat is probably like after 12.
After 12? Okay.
I train in the morning and then eat something like after 12 o'clock.
And is that how your body functions better when you eat?
My body's weird. Like it started being weird when I did radio.
Okay.
And then I went 8 hours behind to LA. So like my whole clock is just 4 hours sleep a day, which is terrible.
What's your favorite meal?
Of the day or just specifically?
Let's do of the day and then specifically.
Do you know what? I think probably like breakfast, lunch type thing. I think that, yeah. I think if I have a good breakfast, then that's probably what I'd say. But my favorite thing to eat, I like mac and cheese.
You like mac and cheese? By itself?
Well, the way my aunt did it, she had like mince in the base of
Oh,
it.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's actually my favorite. But to me, it's a main course, but to others, it's a side.
Yeah,
So I think the meat makes it main.
Okay, yeah.
You eat meat, but obviously outside of that, then it's a side. But yeah, I like mac and cheese.
Oh, wow. And you're Ghanaian, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I guess in your culture, is mac and cheese like a main dish?
No. So I was raised by a Guyanese lady. So that's probably where that comes from.
That's what, okay, and Caribbean. Yeah, because for us Caribbeans, that's like a side dish, like a little bit of mac and cheese with...
I'm kind of like Christmas. I don't like a whole bunch of different things on my plate. It makes my mind mentally full, so I don't get to finish it. But if I can have a lot of things separately. Yeah. So for me, mac and cheese is the thing that I have to have on my plate, and everything else comes after now.
Okay, nice. I want to call you the Mr. Golden Buzzer, and I know that might sound a bit cliche,
and corny,
but it is a big achievement, right?
Okay.
We often hear that comedy is the best medicine. How did you know you wanted to become a comedian?
I saw Martin Lawrence for the first time. And then I was like, I didn't know what it was he was doing, but it was probably the best laugh I've had in my whole life. And I looked at what he was doing and I felt like I could do it. I felt like I'd been doing it, but I didn't know what it was called. Okay. So I was actually in America at the time, and then I came back to London, and then I did everything in my power to find out what this thing was. And then I started researching more. Eddie Murphy, like all my favorite actors in films, I didn't know they were comedians.
Okay.
So that was quite interesting, like the Richard Pryor and Superman 3, Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills and all that. So I didn't know none of them were comedians. I just thought they were funny actors. So the more I delved into it, then I was like, yeah, this is what I feel like comes natural to me. I was playing football at the time.
Okay, yeah.
But that was something I had to work on. This, I felt it was natural.
And what was it about comedy that you felt was natural within yourself from looking at those people?
To deflect.
Okay.
To guard, to protect, to avoid.
Okay.
That's what I use comedy for. I can answer that now as an adult, but during the time, it was probably just innate and nothing that I was genuinely conscious of, but I knew I wouldn't get into no nonsense if I was making people laugh.
Okay. So what were you trying to deflect from?
People asking me personal questions, people trying to get to know me.
Okay.
People that may have found me attractive that I didn't find attractive. I turned everything into a joke. And I was quite small when I was young.
Okay.
I was like, especially like year 7, I was very small. I was like one of the smallest. Maybe like 13, 14, like sharp. But yeah, I was quite small, so it was quite a way to protect myself, I think.
So would you say you kind of almost found your identity in what you were doing and kind of being a comedian? Well, yeah, and making people laugh.
I think I found my gift.
Okay, I like that.
I think I found my gift. I think everything else is what I wanted to do. But comedy was never felt like work. It's never felt like something I had to try. It's never felt like anything I had to qualify for. I just knew that I could do it because of the reactions I've always had when I intentionally made people laugh.
Okay, so it came quite naturally for you to just make people laugh, give them that joy and that humour.
Yeah, I wasn't like a clown. I wasn't really that loud. I wasn't that. I got in trouble not for what I did, but for what I said.
Okay.
So I was quite witty when I was young. So I knew that I had the ability to make people laugh at what I said. And my mind, from a young age, I think moved quicker than most. So
It's almost as if you used it as a strength as well to kind of navigate your life and navigate your childhood, because you said when you were younger you were quite small, but you had the confidence in, you know, making people laugh and giving them that humour. So you kind of used that gift and kind of ran with it.
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew that it made other people feel good.
Okay.
So anything that makes people feel good, you tend to lean towards that a bit more. And then when I got older, I found out what it was.
Okay. I want to go back a bit because you mentioned about people asking you personal questions and you wanting to deflect from that. So what type of personal questions were people asking you where you wanted to...
Where's your mom and where's your dad?
Okay.
Where are you from? Why don't you live with your parents? I think, 80s, anything to do with Africa. Those types of things, really.
And I know you have had a difficult childhood. I know you've openly spoken about, your parents going to jail and you going into foster care. What was that like for you, being so young?
So I didn't have the stereotypical scenario. It was probably the best thing of my life, really.
Okay.
It was a blessing. It was a great experience. I had my sister with me as well, so it wasn't just like me by myself, which is another thing. The experience was, I felt like I could be who I wanted to be outside the house.
Okay.
And then at home, it was kind of like a different setting.
So when you say at home, do you mean at your family home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Competitive. My foster carer had a son that was the same age as me. So that was very competitive. Limiting at times. But I felt alive like when I was in school. Like I was I never bunked once from school, never. I just saw school as like the best place to be. So that was probably my happy place, to be fair. Home was fun and home was good. It wasn't like bad, but it was just like I came alive when I was around people.
I want to know more about, and I don't know if you can reflect back to when you were younger, but when you were going into foster care, did you understand what was going on?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't know where we was going. I think we just turned up at a house. This amazing woman opened the door, made us feel at home, and then we was told we were staying there. But again, I think because I had my sister, I was 5 and my sister was 3.
Oh, so young.
So I didn't care as long as there was something familiar around me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the experience would have been like if it was just me. So I think nothing made me feel awkward or overthinking it. Obviously I'm 5, but because my sister's there, we're here for now. Do you know? So yeah, I didn't really know what was taking place really. I was 5.
And how did you deal with the loss of kind of leaving your home?
Leaving what home?
Your parents' home. So going into foster care, how did you feel like having to say bye-bye to mummy and daddy and kind of like...
Well, we didn't get to say bye-bye.
Oh, you didn't get to say bye? Okay.
When you get arrested, they don't.
Okay.
Say bye to the kids first.
All right, so let's talk about that then. If you feel comfortable, what happened that led you to going into foster care?
My parents were arrested for doing drugs, and then I remember they went out and they didn't come home. I remember that. I went and my grandma was here, and that's all I really remember.
Okay.
As an adult speaking to my mum, she didn't really want to talk about it much.
Okay.
It was like a stain on her name and the family and all the other stuff. So the real ins and outs I've had in pieces, but I've never actually been told the full story. But all I remember them is they left and they didn't come back that day. And then my grandma was in London, but she couldn't speak English. Social services came, and I think I was with my mum's friend for a little bit, and then she took us in, and then the social worker came, and then took us to my aunts who raised us.
Oh wow! Thank you for sharing that, because I know you haven't spoken about that before. So thank you for being open and vulnerable and talking about that. How does it feel to share? Is that the first time you've shared that? How does it feel?
I've written my book.
Okay.
Which is coming.
Can I get a copy first?
I can't promise that, but you'll get a copy. That's the first time I actually spoke about it.
Okay.
To myself even, thought about things. And then of late, I just shot my comedy special.
Yeah, I watched that.
Which is probably the most honest show I've ever done. I think, to be honest, it is the only honest show I've done. So in nearly 25 years, everything's been fabricated, everything's been exaggerated, everything's been for entertainment purposes until I became comfortable enough to talk about it. But I think having written the book, the next thing for me was to speak about the humor in everything, which is probably the hardest thing. And then now we've got a show hopefully coming about it as well.
Oh wow, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful that what was once painful has now become a purpose, and you feel so much more comfortable to speak about that. How does it feel to feel comfortable to speak about that?
If I'm actually honest, I'm not sure if I'm still comfortable yet. I think because the reason why is because even filming the comedy special, that brought family drama.
Oh wow.
That brought feelings from family members. That brought feelings from my dad. That brought feelings from my siblings. Who some were happy that I did it. Some were happy that wasn't happy that I did it. But at some point in life, it's about your journey. No one should stop anybody from talking about their story. Unfortunately, there's going to be casualties along the way. But I think if you, especially as a man, if you hold in these things, I think people would prefer embarrassment than to not have you here. And if they wouldn't, then it's clearly an issue for them. But for me, I think it's important that these things come out in some sort of way, because people are carrying stuff that they don't want to talk about, or they're protecting other people, so then they're harming themselves. And for the next couple of years, I'm probably going to be talking a lot.
I love that. When you telling me that, it feels so freeing. I'm a very big person on storytelling, and I'm very big on abandoning the unhealthy stories you tell yourself. And sometimes when we go through things in our past that are quite traumatic, we then tell ourselves unhealthy stories and we become our own inner critic. But then when we let go of that and we kind of speak about what we've been hiding or maybe embarrassed about, we feel so free, and we feel as if we just abandoned that lifestyle that was causing us trauma and causing us pain, and we're now rewriting our story, and it's a new chapter. Like you said, you've got your book, you've got your movie coming out, and yeah, it just feels nice. It feels nice to hear that from you.
I think for me, I honestly, my silence has been because I've been protecting people.
Okay.
So it's never really been, again, because we grew up in a very amazing home. I'm not I'm not somebody with excuses. I've got 1,000 excuses that would be justified, but I've never used any of them to give a reason why I can't do something or why someone's held me back or whatever. But a lot of the time it's protecting other people, because they might fall casualty to you telling the truth. And I think the message of my autobiography is literally that we're all a part of someone else's movie. And all of us are villains in someone else's story, unintentionally. And that's the reality of life. And I think when my book comes out, it's going to cause a problem.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel at peace with it because I've written it because I'm at peace with it.
Okay.
And I think it's for other people to look at themselves. My book is also me looking at myself and apologies that I've had to make to people that I'm aware of. I think vantage point is such a interesting thing, because from your point of view, everything's right, but you don't know the other person's vantage point. You don't know what they were going through. You don't know why. I probably said no to somebody and now I'm the worst person in the world, but they have no idea why I said no. And so most people don't really care. I think we live in a world now where people don't want context because they'd have to take a lot of things back. So, yeah, it's going to be a interesting couple of years coming up. But I think it's about freeing myself. My promise to myself is that my sleep is more important than anyone else's.
Yeah.
If I don't sleep well, then no one else sleeps well. That's my thing to myself.
I love that. That's so special, and it's really nice to hear. How's your son?
My son's good. He's about to be 6.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's about to be 6 in
Big
July.
boy now.
Big boy, yeah, man. He's been through a lot, going through a lot, but he's a good kid, smart boy.
What makes you smile the most about your son?
That he's just a happy boy. Just a happy boy. He has muscular dystrophy, so it affects his like a muscle disease.
Okay.
So he gets bigger, but his bones don't, his muscles don't. They don't grow. So that's been challenging, and now he's actually in a wheelchair. But these are all things that we knew was coming. But he's in a wheelchair, but he plays basketball. He's in a wheelchair, but he does sports day. He does all of these things, and I'm learning so much from what he's going through about life and about people. And I think that's what makes me smile the most. That whilst he's got all these disabilities, he's a very happy boy, and he travels and he has a good time.
I love that. That's so special. Does he laugh at your jokes?
He does, but you don't know why he's laughing. He's not there yet. He just laughs. But the kind of like banner we have is kind of You know, I asked him, does he want to do what daddy does? And he said, no, that's silly.
Is he telling you what he wants to do? He seems quite...
No.
He seems like quite
You know what?
sporty.
As a father, I'm whatever he feels like doing today or this month is what we push.
Okay.
I think it's important to let them lead.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't want to be the parent that tells them what they're supposed to do. I just want to see what's innate in them, what they gravitate to naturally. And at this age, they chop and change. It's 1 minute it's Spider-Man, next minute it's dinosaurs, next minute it's cars. But I think when he's in that mode, we got to push that because you just never know where it ends up. His mum's really good at doing that as well, you know, and just giving him a lot of like experiences and watching what he gravitates to, really.
I love that. And I guess when they're younger, that's when they're the most confident, and we need to kind of push them into what they enjoy, even if it does change. Because my daughter, she's into gymnastics now, but before it was ballet, it was karate. So it's just like we have to go with the changes and just embrace their individuality and embrace what they enjoy and just let them lead, and then, you know, they can kind of steer their own ship.
I agree.
How's co-parenting?
Co-parenting is really good because every time I feel like I'm around people that just don't have my experience. They just don't have my experience. But I think, you know, I had a child with someone who I really care about. I really cared about. It didn't work out for us, but I think one thing that I always say to people is the type of character you have a child with is fully your responsibility. What happens in that relationship is not. It could just be life, right?
Say that again.
I think picking the right person to have a child is your responsibility. You know, I've never really made decisions on the nice things about people. I made decisions on the bad things about them because when things ain't going great, that's who you got to deal with. If you make decisions because everybody's nice side, then you don't know what the other side is about. So for me, the worst thing I've seen from my son's mother is nothing. It's nothing. So I always knew that for us to ever not work out, you'd always be amazing human beings. Do you know what I mean? And she's a good mum, deals with a lot. And yeah, we co-parent well. Obviously, I'm on the other side of the world a lot traveling, but when I'm around, I'm around. And yeah, we both do our best, I think. And you know, and I think as well, it's just understanding that your best changes. And that's what people don't understand. Like, your best is seasonal. You'll be great at this for 1 month, and it will be bad, but you'll be great at something else for a month, and then so it kind of, that's what parenting is. I think we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves to always be
the perfect parent
in the same bracket. Do you know what I mean? Like, this might come down, but now this is up, that's down. So I think whatever your best is at the time is always good enough.
I used to find co-parenting hard, extremely hard, but I feel like, you know, as you grow, you both learn, and you have to learn each other in the different situations that you're going through. But I feel like when you get to that space where you're both at peace and you can both respect each other, it's just so much better for not only for you two, but for the child to see that as well. And I know many people struggle with co-parenting. What would you say to someone who may be struggling as a dad with maybe getting along with the woman who he has a child with? What kind of encouraging advice would you give a man?
You know, I was speaking to somebody last weekend, a friend of mine that I haven't seen for a long time because obviously I ain't been around, and I saw him, and he was just like, yeah, man, I had a daughter, and my mom let me see the daughter. And that really, like, when I hear things like that, because I can't even imagine a world where a woman would tell me I can't see something that I created. Like, and unfortunately, this is normal. But I'd probably end up in jail if that ever was said to me, because I know the kind of human being I am. And even the fact that we co-parent so well is because of the kind of human beings we are at the core. So when people go through those things, it really angers me at times when I hear men say that. The fact that it's even something that somebody can do is very, very, I mean, unless this person is physically harming and the extremes, which they are, the fact that somebody can tell you can't see a child that you created just because of how they feel or whatever is wild to me. So when he said that, I just said to him something that I read when I read Common's book, was Common's daughter was upset with him when she became an adult. Because she was like, I know mum was wild and I know mum was wrong and all the other stuff, but you didn't fight for me. And as a man, our thing is we fall into, it's not worth it. We don't think our child is worth it, yeah. But a lot of guys are kind of like, I would say a small bracket of men are genuinely gonna go, court, fight, all of that stuff just to see their child. Because at some point, you're probably like, one day it will change. One day she'll grow up and he will grow up and they'll figure out stuff. All I've got to do is just be around and be available. And when my moment comes, my moment comes. But you're still missing out on time. And I said to my friend, I said, man, listen, don't give up on her because of the mum. You got to just make sure that she knows you're fighting for her all the time. Even if you're not successful, because you will be in the end. Because if someone's a bad person, their child's gonna see it. And I promise you, the worst scenario you could ever be is when your child agrees with the person that left. When that happens, it's very hard to come back from that. Because they've had to live through lies maybe, or not understanding why you say one thing about dad and that don't mirror up when I see him. All of those things, if they don't mirror up, it's gonna be hard to get that child back mentally. So I always say to guys that, all your job is legally is to make sure that your child sees that you want to see them, and fortunately you got to bide your time. And also I said, back to the question you asked me about co-parenting. Me and my son's mum made a promise to each other that we're gonna always work on our friendship. We're not nice to each other before my son. My son has nothing to worry about. That's the least of our concern. We got to be cool with each other because at some point we wanted to create this human being. So this is about our friendship and our relationship. Nothing to do about something, because at no point is he worried about anything. He's got everything that he needs, and he gets everything that he needs from both of us. But we've got to make sure that we're cool, because at one point we were, and that's what I think is the main secret of that we have grown to respect each other.
Yeah, and I think that's where the difficulty lies with co-parenting. Is like, when you're in a relationship with someone, you have a child with someone, and then that doesn't go according to plan and you break up. It's almost as if the trust, that distrust and that abandonment and that rejection, you kind of hold on to that. And it's like, well, some people use their children as a weapon. Well, you're not going to see the child because of how you made me feel or how you walked out on us. And and I guess it's difficult and it's very challenging for some men and women out there, but hopefully we can get to a place where co-parenting can be easy and it doesn't have to be a difficult journey or struggle. And I think for people who maybe struggle with co-parenting, I think there's a lot of pride and a lot of ego in regards to the struggle, just because, if you're doing it for the child, it's not about you, right? So you're going to let your child see the mom, see the dad, because it's their best interest. It's not about how you feel, it's not about, you feeling this way or you feeling that way. It's about what is the best for our child and our child's development. And I think when you can think from that mindset, it's like a win-win.
Well, yeah, but I think, I also think you can't be a good parent if you're not full. So I think my son comes after me.
Wow, yeah, I love that.
My son comes after me, because if I'm not around, then what can I give him? If I'm not pouring into myself, what can I give him? If I'm not pouring into his mother, what can she give him?
Wow.
So that's why I say we don't make our son the priority, because he benefits from us making each other the priority as adults and saying, listen, what do you need from me? If I come and take him, do you need anything else? Like, I like my son's mom. We're friends, and we don't have this, oh, it was once like this, it was once like that. Like, we were friends, and I think your default setting is what you revert to. So that's why I say to people, don't pick people on the good things they do, pick people on the bad things you see. Because if it's not that bad, everything else is a bonus, everything else is a blessing. If you just go off of what nice things people do, when the weather changes, you ain't gonna have the right outfit on.
I love that. I hope that if there's any parents watching, I hope that they can listen to this and kind of take some notes, because I think that's very important. I think sometimes we forget to pour in ourselves and we forget to love ourselves. And if we're not doing that, then how could we be there for our children?
Well, people make you feel guilty for doing that. That's what it is. People make you feel guilty for the fact that I said my child isn't a priority. So that's probably sent some people crazy. But I'm getting the.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. I guess
it's my truth.
Yeah.
And I've got testimony and results because of my truth. So it doesn't matter what other people think. If what you're doing has evidence of working, you got to keep doing that.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? If you're getting everything that you feel like you need and your child needs, then you got to keep doing that. But if you're not, you got to look at yourself.
100%. And where did you get to that stage of being able to look at yourself and reflect and pour into you? Because I feel like sometimes that's not easy for people. I think for me, I can speak because I'm a therapist, so I know that lifestyle. I've helped people, so I'm able to look at myself and reflect and develop that self-awareness. How did you do that? As a man as well.
Man, I think these are all like the skills you learn in terms of like. Do you know what? I always say this here. I'm the master of disguise. You can't tell me something about myself that I don't know already. Like I can't lie down knowing that I've lied to myself. I can't look in the mirror knowing that I lied to myself. I can't remember the last time I lied to myself. I can't remember. I cannot remember. I don't lie to myself because it doesn't serve me. If I go out there and I give the world a perception of me and deep down it's like, I know that's not true. I've got to go and lie down with myself. That's why I said my sleep is more important than someone else's sleep. I have to tell the people the truth. The truth is going to be uncomfortable at times, but it takes character to go through that process. The pandemic was a great experience of people having no distractions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like what they see. And realizing that, damn, I am the messy one. You know, I am the lazy one. I am the annoying one. I do talk too much. All of these things people are finding out about themselves. That's why there's a lot of people going through depression, because the reality of things that they were hiding and distracting themselves with, they were all gone. Can't go out, can't, you know, can't do this, can't do that. You got to sit at home and be in your mind. There you go. And I think when you are comfortable being in your own space and like your own space and like who you are, you know, one thing I always tell people regularly, I like who I am. And sometimes that offends people. I think I can be a very proud person. Just having the ego. I think my pride sometimes can get the better of me, because I don't give second chances and I don't ask for them. That's just how I live my life.
Why do you think that is?
Because I believe that people do what they want to do. Okay. If you want to see me and I'm in an R-ring, that's primarily because you're not priority to me. But when something is a priority, I'm there. I'll find the time. That's just how I think humans are. For real, for real.
Do you believe in forgiveness?
Oh, of course. I forgive everybody. I don't forget none, though. And I think really and truly, forgiveness isn't really what people will prefer. They prefer you to forget. But that's impossible.
What makes you say that?
Because you can forgive someone, but you're never going to have the same relationship. It's like you can go and fix your car, but it's not brand new, is it?
Okay.
You got to register.
But you can adapt to the changes of the car.
Absolutely, but I can never sell it at the new price.
Okay.
When you sell a car, you got to state the history. You got to let the new person know these are the things that happened to the car. Now it might look shiny, but you can never. It's like once you do this with a bottle, when you hear the, that's it. Then you can never sell it for the same price. because the seal's been ripped off. Never sell it for the same price. And I think people think they can. And that to me is ego.
But I'm just thinking about when you said not giving people a second chance.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand, where does that come from? Because I'm thinking, you know, if someone's done something to you that may have, I don't know, upset you or annoyed you.
Okay, let's be honest. I'm not talking about a lot of little things. They're little things.
Okay.
They're not worth talking about, little things. You forget them. Do you know what I mean? They're not. I'm talking about something major.
Do you have an example?
If you put your hand on me.
If what's, okay, yeah.
If you put your hand on me, there's no coming back. Never. Now you can learn your lesson with me and be amazing for the next guy. Because the reality is, all of us are any single person is going to have to take in somebody that someone else has messed up, right? But this person's a better person for going through that experience, and now you have them. Sometimes we prepare our people for other people. And it's not a nice thing that people want to understand, but the reality is somebody messed somebody up so much that this man now knows how to treat a woman. And you get to have it. But people don't think like that. They think, why have I done all of this stuff for him? Blah, 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 blah. And he's gone off, and everything I poured into him, he's gone and benefited someone else. But the next person you date, they've been through the same thing. No one looks at it that way and says, oh, thank that woman that messed this man up or whatever, and now I get to see the best of him.
Okay, I like how you put it like that. How you kind of understand.
Because people are so focused on, and that's what blessings are. Blessings are about pouring into someone, and someone else that you've done nothing for come and blesses you. That's what blessings are. Blessings aren't, I do something for you, you do something back. Or the same thing I did for you, I want the same thing back. That's not how blessings work. Blessings are, you pour into someone, and I've got testimony in that, because the amount of times I was angry and frustrated because I poured into so many people, and I feel like, why do these people never pick up the phone when there's something for me? Do you see what I'm trying to say? But someone I did nothing for, somebody I didn't even know, came and gave me such an opportunity that's when I understood. All the things you pour into others, someone that you've done nothing for has got something for you. That's how people should look at things. But people are so self-centered, and they feel like, because I've watered this plant, that plant needs to be in my house.
I love that. And who, if you don't mind sharing, who was that person who did that for you?
This person was a guy called Paul, a white guy. I was having a meeting, and he overheard a conversation about the Black Magic Awards. And he overheard, he's like, guys, look, I'm sorry, I know you guys are having a meeting, but I just overheard what you guys are talking about. And I have a theatre in Piccadilly Circus, and if you'd love to have it, you can have it for free.
Wow.
Paul died a week before the award show.
Wow.
So when things really happen in real life, and you have an experience like that, where you spend the whole time thinking, why did this man help me? I did nothing for this. This man don't know me from nowhere. Even if I never met this guy, I would have had to go and spend thousands to find a theatre, not in Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, wow.
In the eye of the West End. And this man that just heard something that moved him, said, here you go. And we did 3 years in that place, even after he was gone. And that's what I'm talking about. When you have an experience like that, you understand why you give. You understand why you give. You don't just say, oh, I've done this for that person. You got to do the same thing for me. Don't work like that. But because of that testimony, I know it really shifted my mindset. And sometimes you maybe got to go through the experience. But because of that, I understand that when I give to people, it's not because I need something back from that individual. That's not honest. It's like people always want to help someone that don't need the help. You notice that? People that got loads of money and collateral, now they want, oh, what do you need help with? Now they don't need the help, you want to help them. But the person that does need your help, you don't want to help them because it don't benefit you. So how honest is people trying to help each other?
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to think of things, and it's a nice way to think of blessings as well, in regards to people blessing you, and then you continuing to give and continue to. I guess it's about you continuing to be your authentic self, and just being you, and along the way you'll meet your destiny helpers who are going to bless you.
Do you think your authentic self is different? It changes?
Do I think your authentic self changes? I think as you grow, you learn new things. And yeah, I guess you develop and you become your authentic self. So it can change as you grow, I would say, in my opinion. Do you think?
I think that I am who I need to be in the environment.
Okay, tell me more about that.
If I feel like I'm in a hostile environment, I'm probably a bit more self-aware. I'm probably speak less, pay more attention. If I'm in a loving environment, I'm probably a bit more loud and I'm probably a bit more vulnerable. I could be the loudest guy in the room, I could be the quietest guy in the room, but it all depends on the environment. But I think they're all me. You know, people say that they would never do something, but until the situation comes, you don't know. Mm-hmm. So I don't really put rules over how I am as a human being, but I have morals that have remained the same for the majority of my life. Mm-hmm. But rules are there to be broken. Because if I'm broke and I see £20 on I might take it.
Pick it up.
I might take it. I wasn't a thief before that day.
But would you call that stealing?
It's not mine. Someone's looking for it.
Fair point.
Well, you might call it a blessing. Thank you.
I would put it a blessing. But yeah.
Listen, when you do that over some money, that's stealing. Ain't no blessing over there.
But it came your way. What's the likelihood of money coming your way and you seeing it and you need the money? Come on.
But yeah,
there's blessings in disguise.
But again,
there's no such thing as a coincidence.
But it's also a test.
Okay.
What if you hand that in and then the blessing comes from that? That's even bigger than the £20.
Okay, that's true. Now you get philosophical now?
I'm just saying, listen, man.
No, but I get that. I get your angle. But then, yeah,
I walk around like there's big brothers watching me. That's how I move. And sometimes I don't care that they're watching. And sometimes I do.
Interesting. What's life like in LA? I know you speak about it a lot in your comedy.
LA is where the best are.
Okay.
That's where the best are.
I like that. When did you move to LA? How long have you been there?
I've been in LA since maybe like 15 months now.
Okay.
But I've been going for like 20 years.
Oh,
so
right.
So
prior,
familiar.
before moving, you've been going in, okay.
Been very, very familiar with it. And I like LA for the reasons of I'm amongst the elite, the Champions League of this entertainment business. This is where the best come. And if you think you're the best, you come here. It's changed now because you don't necessarily have to live there anymore. Okay. Because the world's on social media, online. You know, you can build yourself up being anywhere around the world ultimately. But there's no one that I feel like tries to be great that don't pass through there. It's impossible, in my opinion. You look at Jonathan Ross, who, when I was growing up, and I saw him yesterday actually, when I was growing up, Jonathan Ross to me was my favorite TV personality. But do you think the world knows him more than they know James Corden?
Are you asking me that question?
Well, yeah.
Do I think the world knows him more? I'm going to say no. Am I right?
Of course. Because James Corden is in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And the world pays attention to Hollywood. England pays attention to England. The Americans don't give a damn about what's going on over here like that. It's changing because of Netflix and Amazon and those streaming platforms. So now they're looking for it a little bit more because it was blocked from them before. You can't talk to them about EastEnders and stuff like that. You can't say, over there, I'm in EastEnders. Do you know what I mean? But they can tell you that they're on Love and Hip Hop. They can tell you they're on stuff that you don't even get on your television. But we still absorb, their stuff. So I feel like LA for me is where the best go. I feel like I'm one of the best globally. So you gotta go and prove it.
How has it changed you being in LA? Has it changed you in any way?
I think I've become a better comic. I'm going up after people that are destroying. Like, real destroying. And you got to follow them. When they put the hand in your mouth and say, you next, those are some of the scariest words you will hear. Because you got to go and follow that. And I felt like the kind of comedian that I wanted to be, that's what I had to put myself around and make that normal for me. Going back and forth for like 20 years in LA was kind of like nerves, scared. Will they understand me? Doubt. And then it just became, I started just going and watching. Then it became, let me jump on. Oh, okay, those two things worked. Let me keep doing it. Now, I think partly because I'm just more mature and more experienced, now I don't care. Now I'm fearless. Now I go on after anybody, anyone.
I love that.
Anybody, don't matter who it is, I know I can go and get my 10 minutes of laughter. That's what comedy's about. It's about, no matter how funny the last person was, there's still 10 minutes for you to do your thing. No one goes, oh, he was funny, so the next person won't be. No one says that. You've got to go and get your laugh. Now, it don't mean that you're going to be as funny as the person, but if you come off that stage and you don't get nothing, you never had nothing. So for me, going up against real funny people is making me better.
I love that. And I know you've opened up for Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, amongst many others. What was that like? Because they're very big comedians.
Chris was good. I get to see how different comedians, those three, get ready.
Okay.
That's
so before they go on,
yeah.
Okay.
Dave is just to himself. I think his jokes are in the cigarette, man. I think he's just the next joke. Like,
yeah, you do always.
Dave,
you do always
smoking like a chimney, man. But then Chris has this thing where he's got a board of all the jokes in like stick-it notes, and he's just got them all in order. And then that first show, he put this in this order and that one, and he has to see it.
Okay, so he's very visual, like visualization.
Yeah,
okay.
He has to see the order. Kevin is very much a script. It's a script. This is the script for this show, and I'm gonna do the exact same script everywhere I go, and then I'll film when I know the script. He doesn't veer off the script. You don't see Kevin talk to the crowd much, because it's a script. This is the beginning. This is how the show ends. Every single show. You go to see Kevin Hart 3 times in a row, the same show, you see that it's a script. Dave ain't like that. Dave is a bit more, it ends up being a script, but he spends longer mixing things around and might talk to the crowd for a bit, get something from that. That works. Let me slide it in. Chris is visual. I need to see everything, the order, move it around. Kevin knows the script, and that's why I think Kevin gets more movies than everyone else, because you can trust somebody that can do a script.
How would you say you are right now?
I think I'm witty. I think I'm very sharp. I think I say stuff that people go, that's true. I went through a phase, maybe after my breakup, where it got kind of dark for me. I was getting too much that's true over laughter. So it came across harsh, it came across aggressive, my comedy. I prioritized telling the truth over being funny. But I think a part of that was coming to the realization that someone who I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, it didn't work out. A child came from that. It wasn't part of my plan to be in a world where I don't live with my son. It was never part of the plan. I felt like that was probably the first time I failed. The only time I failed. Being a bit hard on myself.
Because somebody said something to me the other day that I think said it in a sentence. It was something along the lines of failure feels like failure because of what you had in your head over what is happening in real life. That made me shut up for about 5 minutes because that's what I think we all do. The word settling, that's how we got there. It was about the word settling. It feels like settling. It's not settling. This is the best you can do right now. That's the truth. This is the best you can do right now. Because you're comparing the reality over what's in your head. It's always going to feel like underneath. It's always going to feel like less than. So when I went through that breakup, it was me competing with what I had planned in my head over the reality. And it was hard to accept that for me. Because why can't I've had everything else that's been in my head. So because all of those things I had full control over. Yeah. It's the one thing that I can't have control over another human being. So that's what I feel like. I felt like I'd failed. I'd failed the relationship. I failed my son. I failed his mum. For my family. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like my comedy got a bit dark, a bit aggressive, didn't care about humor. And there was a lot going on in the world as well. And it kind of coincided with the pandemic and everything as well. So it was a tough time. But as a comic now, I think like I'm sharp. I think I never go with the easy route. You know, I think my endings are quite, I didn't see that coming. I like storytelling. I think I'm a good storyteller. And I've lived an amazing life. I've had some phenomenal experiences. And I've done things a lot of people have never done.
I love that.
And now I'm in a space where I'm starting to share some of those stories.
I love that. And thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And yeah, I wish you all the best with your book when it comes out. I want to get a copy. Thank you.